We often think that change comes through big, dramatic decisions. And sometimes it does. But what 2025 taught me is that it's really the tiny habits on repeat that really shape everything. So I did an audit, and these are the top things that I'm letting go of in the coming year. So the first thing that I'm letting go of this year is comparison. And this is something I've been letting go of over the years, and I have done a video about this before, which I'll link. But the main form of comparison that was coming up for me this year was other people in a similar space to me who had more time. So mine was all about time and lifestyle. Wishing that I was able to have more time, more days of the week to do this, what I absolutely love to do. And in years gone past, it was more comparing myself physically with aging and things like that. And so if you're a young one, you might be struggling with a comparison trap with social media, etc., with people's bodies and relationships and children and families and careers. Like there's a ton of things that we can be comparing ourselves for. But I think we can all agree that comparison is an absolute killjoy, and the sooner that we can weed that sucker out, the better. Editing Maggie here. I think it's worth noting that comparison will probably always stay on my list of things to look out for. Even though I feel I've made great strides with it, there are still more subtle and subtler threads to examine and keep an eye on. Although, yes, we need to stay in our own lane, I think it is okay to have a look at what people are doing in a similar space to you that may be excelling, or people a few steps ahead for inspiration or motivation or to grow. It's when we start to feel contracted or envious or in scarcity that it becomes a problem. Number 2 is letting go of bedtime, revenge, procrastination. And I can't tell you how happy I was when I discovered that this is actually a thing. And it's when you feel like you're so busy and you've done so much in the day that you get into bed and you feel like it's your time. That's the only time you have for yourself. And you start scrolling and you start delaying sleep. And listen, I love cat reels, I love dog reels. And so my tip for this, to get excited about actually going to sleep, I think of a question or something I want clarity on, or a problem, or simply asking for guidance before I go to sleep. And by getting to bed earlier, when I wake up more naturally or with more sleep under my belt, I'm more likely to remember my dreams and be able to utilize and capitalize on any downloads I happen to have gotten in the sleep state. Quick side note, something that's helped me a lot is the good old-fashioned reading of a paper book before sleep. Honestly, 5 or 10 minutes and I am out for the count. And honestly, making changes like this, even though they may seem small, can be difficult. So I want to let you know about a group coaching program I'm co-facilitating with my colleague and sister, Kathy, in the new year. We're going to take you through a journey of achieving one big goal or transformation over a few months. So if you're interested, if that sounds good, link will be in the description. All right, number 3, letting go of overspending to cope. Consumerism in general. So I thought I was pretty good at not being someone who spends lots of money shopping. But what I have noticed when I did my audit of 2025 is that I spent a lot of money on lunches, a lot of money on matcha lattes. I have given that up, but throughout the year, matcha lattes, a lot of lunches, and there were a few reasons for that when I dug deeper. So I'm not yet a full-time YouTuber and life coach, although I am working on it and I'm very close. I am a podiatrist, and so I work on my lunch breaks on my YouTube channel and I love it. But one thing I like to do is take myself out of my clinic into a different location. So it's lunchtime, so I like to head to a cafe. There's something about my ritual at lunchtime, going to a cafe, saying hello to all the staff, they all know me, I set myself up and I just go hardcore for 1 to 1.5, sometimes 2 hours at lunch. It's a very productive time and I absolutely love it. But that can get expensive. So one way to combat that is compromise. I can still have my cafe 2-hour lunch 1 day a week, but just not all the days of the week. And finding a nice library, which I have done, that is a nice environment, it's nice and quiet. Often overspending can be a form of self-soothing, so it can be helpful to ask, what is it that I actually need right now? Is it comfort? Is it connection? Is it rest? And is there another way that I can get that need met? And sometimes it's purely just a habit. It's no deeper than that. So the next thing I'm letting go of this year is complaining. I didn't see myself as a big whinger, a big complainer. But once again, during my audit, I can see how sometimes my attitude hasn't been as good as it could be. And often it's usually due to packing too much into the day or feeling under quite a bit of stress. I realized a lot of my complaining was actually because I had really unrealistic expectations of myself. With everything that I had chosen to put on my plate, there simply weren't enough hours in the day. So instead of doing a few things well and giving it my best, I spread myself really thin. And then I judged myself for not doing my best. So I've had to take a really good, honest look at my life, my priorities, and what's important. And it has resulted in me downsizing and creating more space and making some big changes. I've had to really reevaluate what matters and what's important. And interestingly, what's important to me now is different to what was important to me 12 months ago. So it is important to take the time to do the audit because things change. And sometimes they change without you knowing. And then comes the gratitude. So the magical way to get rid of complaining, it's really quite simple. It's just choosing gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude. And when I remember that, it's like instant change. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. It's simply going, okay, what can I control in this moment? What can I be grateful in this moment? What is the challenge that I'm currently grateful for? Because I know that there's a silver lining at the end of this. There's growth, there's evolution. Something's going to come out of this. And simply by focusing on what we can appreciate and what we can be grateful for, everything just shifts, everything just melts away. And gratitude is not something that's constant. It's like self-esteem. It's not like a set and forget thing. It's not like you have this level of gratitude or this level of self-esteem. It's fluctuating every day depending on how on it you are, how disciplined you are, how open-hearted you are, how rested you are, how well you've been eating. It depends on a lot of things. So it's something to be monitored. And I have created a Magic of Gratitude course. I've taken hundreds of people through this course. I'll put the link in the description so you can check that out if you like to. As I said, it's a practice. Gratitude is a practice. It's not a given. So although I have been working on gratitude a lot for the last few years, you can see how easy it is to slip out of gratitude and get knocked off your center from trying to squeeze too much in or having unrealistic expectations or whatever it is for you. The next thing I'm releasing this year is letting go of the chaos and choosing presence, focusing on presence. So we know meditation is important. We know it. We hear it all the time. We know it. But do we do it? I do have a regular meditation practice for sure, absolutely. But in the last couple of months, I have deepened it. I have extended it. I have lengthened it. And at first, it was difficult. For someone who's such a doer, I love to do and create and actually be doing things here in the 3D world. It's hard for me to sit still for really long periods of time, but I have been going an hour every day, and it really, really is changing things. At first, it was difficult, I'm not going to lie, but I persisted with it, and now I just feel so much more connected, so much more plugged in, so much more connected with my soul, or my soul connected with me, whichever way you want to look at it, and just more able to tap in my inner guidance system. So I think it's definitely making me slow down a bit and be more present through the day. It's a flow-on effect, but there is that initial period where, you just want to get up. But like training an animal, like training a dog to sit, okay, sit. We've got to do that with ourselves. Our human is an animal that the soul, needs to train. So it's worth it. It's really, really worth it. I highly encourage you to keep going. Keep persisting with it and let me know in the comments how is your meditation practice and any tips for anyone else watching. I'm also discovering more of my own heart and more of who I really am. It sounds kind of weird to say you don't know who you are or you don't know your own heart or you don't know the flavor of your own love. I know that sounds a bit weird. It's kind of true. A lot of us walking around have no idea about these things. So the only way to find out is to go within. So it's well worth it. And to be honest, the only reason I've been able to extend my meditation is because I have made space, because I have downsized. And the last thing I want to talk about today is letting go of the habits that don't serve us. I'm very passionate about habits. I've got an accreditation as a habit practitioner. I feel like our lives are made up of a whole bunch of little habits which create systems that create our entire life. And whether they're good or bad is really, that's a matter of opinion. but they are habits nonetheless. And if we don't do an audit very often, if we don't really pay attention to, hang on, what am I doing when I wake up? What is the first thing that I do? What is my routine between getting up and going to work? What is my routine from getting in my car and then driving to work? What am I listening to? What am I engaging in? How are my thoughts? What am I doing through the workday? What's lunch? I've already told you my lunch routine. What's my routine from after work to the evening? What's my night routine? Like, what do I do what is my routine? I think you'll find there's a lot of habits in there that you don't even realize that you're doing. I want to give this analogy because it's summer here. I've got some time off. It's the Christmas holidays, and my partner and I have been working on our property. And there's a lot of blackberry bushes. They have taken over all along the fence line. It's crazy. We really let them go. And I kind of think this is a great kind of metaphor for habits. If we don't examine the habits and we don't keep on top of the habits, they can just overgrow, just like the blackberry bushes. And then they can be very painful to get rid of. And the blackberry bushes wouldn't be anywhere near as bad if intermittently throughout the year we spent 5 or 10 minutes just snipping. To make matters worse, there aren't even any berries on them, so we don't even get to eat them. So yes, you don't want your habits to be like our overgrown blackberry bushes, prickly and annoying to get rid of. Doing a habit audit and asking yourself, does this habit help me or hinder me? So these are a few of the things that I'm letting go of this year. What are you letting go of? I would love to hear. I would genuinely love to read that in the comments. And don't forget, if you're interested in the group coaching program or one-on-one coaching with me or the gratitude challenge, all the links are in the description. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure that you'll really love this one as well. It's about how to approach goals and New Year's resolutions in a way that actually works. Have a beautiful new year. Much love, guys. Mwah.